What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so it has been a while. I took the whole month of December off. So yeah, I don't think did I post any videos for December? I didn't really plan on taking all December off. It's just kind of happened to play out that way. But anyway, I'm back now, so I'm going to start getting into the swing of things again. I completely missed doing any videos on Spider-Man's new uniform and Kingpin there. So I don't have any of those up on the channel. I did get the gold suit for Spider-Man. I think it was a gold suit, right? Was that the name of it, or black and gold or something like that? So I did get that uniform. I'll probably make a video on that one since I already have Spider-Man at tier 3, so I figure might as well. But for today's video, we have Mr. Sinister, Colossus, and Captain Britain here. So we're going to be taking a look at those 3 uniforms. We'll have timestamps in the description below for when I go over each uniform. But we're going to start off with the first one on the list here, and that is going to be Mr. Sinister. So I've always been a big fan of Mr. Sinister, so I'm quite happy to see a uniform for him and an awakening, because all 3 of them got an awakening skill here, so that means we can now use them in World Boss Legends, so that's fantastic. They're going to be the Hellfire Gala uniform set here, so here we have Mr. Sinister looking all kind of regal, like he's some kind of ruler. Well, I mean, he is some kind of ruler, but with the kind of drapes going down the front there, looks like he's in Parliament or something like that. So yeah, let's see what let's see what Mr. Sinister's new uniform is going to do for him. So, enhance the effects of skill, self-experiment, and then mad science. So we're going to have his tier 2 passive, tier 2 passive and his 4-star passive. And then we have increase guaranteed dodge by 35%. We have ignore dodge by 30%. And we have guard break immunity. So quite nice buffs there on just the uniform effects. I'm very happy with those, especially the ignore dodge and guard break immunity. The dodge, of course, is nice for survivability, but I've always been more fussed about having the ignore dodge because that really helps out and is very noticeable in World Boss Legend. Guard break immunity, again, it kind of depends on the character's skills, if they're going to be proccing on a skill that has invincibility, if the skill has an iframe or this or that, if the guard break immunity is really going to be, noticeable or make a big impact on the character. And for Mr. Sinister here, I think he has an iframe on his, so I don't think it's going to be a huge deal, and I believe he has, invincibility on his skill as well. So I don't know how well the guard break immunity, or how much he actually needs it, but again, I always like to have it, so we'll take it. Alright, so add science, tier 2 passive. What do we got here? So increase summoner's basic stat, or summon character's basic stats by 30%. HP got 20, 30% for duration. I think all of that is the same. Skill and bonus damage, 40 and 30. I believe that is the same. And then we have decreased damage received by 30%. That is new. He never had any decreased damage at all before, but he did have a 15 or 20% all attack increase. So he's losing the all attack and he's getting the damage reduction. So make him a little harder to kill. So I guess that's nice. I believe just from his other skills themselves, he's going to be making up that damage loss, that 15%. And then we have his 4-star passive here, which again is exactly the same except for the remove debuff duration. Before it was only 2 seconds, which 2 seconds was basically nothing. Not sure why it was 2 seconds before, but now you get 10 seconds, so a little bit better. But again, this is something that only procs every 90 seconds, so it's not like you're going to rely on this. This is just kind of like something that'll happen maybe twice in a longer fight, but mainly probably just going to happen once for you. Let's see here. The first skill, we've got the Summon Illusion. That's going to be the same. Second skill, I believe this is the same as well. Did he have mind control on this? I believe he did. No, actually, I think the mind control is new. Mind control, I think, is new. And then we've got the illusion for 100% of stats, which I believe that is the same. And then here we've got all of this looks the same as well. I don't think any of the percentages have gotten any bigger, because 30% for the max heal, we got 7%. For each summon surviving. So yeah, I think all that is the same. And then the 4th skill, we've got paralysis here. We've got basic attack and defense, 20%, speed 10%, crit rate by 20%. I think that's the same as well. The damage immunity for 3 seconds, that's the same. So not much in terms of changes for the buffs on the skills. And then we've got all defense down minus 30%, which I believe is the same. And then we have 3 seconds of invincibility, which I think those were actually just swapped. I think the invincibility used to be on the 4th skill, and then there's nothing on the 5th skill. So those might have been switched. And then he gains, I guess, damage immunity, because maybe he didn't have one of these skills with damage immunity. But yeah, either way, let's go ahead and hop into the skill preview here and see what these animations look like. See if we got anything different going on here. All right, first skill. That is similar to his previous first skill. I think it just has a few more hits on it. Second skill. So that's the clone skill. That looks exactly the same as me. Oh, actually, did we have that explosion at the end before? So we do that, and then we get a bit of an explosion. I don't know if we had that explosion before, but it's definitely the same animation in terms of like the DNA helix there. All right, third skill. Okay, third skill is, I think that's the same. I don't see any changes really. I don't really see any changes to the animation. Maybe the color has changed or something. That's about it. Fourth skill. Okay, so the fourth skill, we do have a change here. Before with the fourth skill, when he does this attack here, you could move around before. Like you can kind of move around and keep doing the beam. You can't do that anymore. You're kind of rooted in place. But it was just a beam before. He didn't have that extra summon behind him that shoots the additional beam. So that's nice. A little bit of extra damage there. And are we in... we just have regular damage immunity there. The iframe doesn't happen until the big Mr. Sinister is summoned. Alright, so fifth skill. I can't remember what his ultimate skill was. I'm trying to think right now. Yeah, I don't know if this is exactly the same or not. I kind of want to say it is, but I can't remember what his fifth skill animation was before. It's been so long since I've used Mr. Sinister. But it looks like we can probably combine the skills. So we have a buff on the third skill, and then we have the 4 and 5 that we could put together. So we can do 3, 4, and 5. We can instant cancel all those because, as you can see, we still get that big Mr. Sinister to spawn in the back there. Get all the buffs from the third skill. So this, I think, is going to be good for a damage proc. If you have a rage on him, you can probably let maybe the fourth skill play out a little bit more, get a little bit of damage there, and then go into the fifth skill. But yeah, I think that's probably what you're going to be doing is 3, 4, and 5, unless you, and then probably in the downtime, maybe get some clones going, and then when this rotation's back up, do that. Because hopefully the clones won't be able to trigger our damage proc. I can't remember. Your summons don't actually trigger your damage procs, do they? It's been so long since I've really used characters that have summons that, you know, just don't die instantly or are not summons during the skill. Like summons that actually persist. I haven't really been playing many characters where the summon actually persists, so I cannot remember. I doubt they can trigger your damage proc. That wouldn't really make sense. But anyway, those are going to be his skills. What about the awakening skill? What does this look like? Alright, hops up. We see Psylocke going on there. We see Colossus making his tornado. Okay, interesting. How much of that do we keep? Alright, so we get all this... Okay, we get everything still from Psylocke and Colossus if we instant cancel that. So, or not instant. Can we... Okay, we can. We can instant cancel it. So we might want to do... Well, we have the awakening skill, what? 3, 4, awakening skill 5, maybe? 3, 4, awakening skill 5. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, so that's going to be Mr. Sinister. Overall, the uniform looks better. He definitely needed an upgrade there. I don't really see too much change, though, in terms of the animation. So it was going to need to be mainly from the like skills themselves in terms of just making each hit of the skill do more damage. If the buffs are a little bit better, even though the buffs don't look substantially better. Like, I believe he always had, like, for example, the all attack, all defense by 20%. So I don't think he's getting a buff there. I don't think that's new. So it's mainly just got to be, like, changes, like, under the hood or something like that. But like I said, I like Mr. Sinister, so I am going to be purchasing this uniform. So let's go ahead and buy this uniform here. And then we'll go ahead and do a quick test of Mr. Sinister. Alright, so here we are over at Cold Obsidian. he has his own self-buffing leadership, so we're going to try this out right now. We just have his own leadership. We've got Mystique in there for her tier 2 passive. Then the only reason I put Else on there is just for the CTP of Insight, because I didn't really want to give him 2 supports, because I kind of want to see what his damage is like with just a single support and a CTP of Insight. And I looked at his skills, and it looks like all of his skills now do mind damage, whereas before he had like a mixture of mind and energy. So I guess it would probably work better against Ebony, but I do want to try him still against Cold Obsidian. So let's go ahead and hop in here, and I did go back and look at his base kit, and he didn't actually have any buffs on the 4th skill before, so I was mistaken about that. So that 20% all attack and all defense is brand new, so all of the buffs on his 4th skill are new. He only had the invincibility. That was pretty much it. I believe he had like stun or something else on it, but that's all. So all of that is new. Oh wait, what did I have on Mr. Sinister? I forgot to check if what obelisk I had on him, if it's a damage proc or all. Anyway, let's just go ahead and do this. It's not a ton of damage. Hold on, where's my... We have a 160 damage proc on him. Ah, run away. Alright, so let's try this again. That is not a lot of damage. That is definitely not... Oh yeah, we need to get some of the summons out. Let's go ahead and do this. Do this. No! Got snared right before I could get into the combo. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, so let's reset here. Let's try to get our clones out one more time. And now let's go into it. See if we do a bit more damage here. I believe the clones only amplify our healing, though. Why are we not healing? So I don't think they do anything to help out our damage. Okay. Do I need to let... I think if I let 3 play out a little bit longer, then we can get a little bit more damage in. Oh, something triggered our damage proc a little bit early there. Okay, yeah, I'm not very impressed with his damage. The damage is not great. I have him at level 70. I haven't really done anything with his gears. We have a 160 proc on him. We were actually landing the proc. Okay, so maybe this uniform is not as great as I thought. I was hoping it would be. Because what do we got here? Yeah, mind damage 160 proc. He was not hitting very hard. Power of Angry Hulk. We have all this skills. Oh wait, I didn't have this leveled up. What do we get extra there? Extra 5%. That's not gonna make a huge difference. Alright. You know, I'm not very impressed with that showing there. He does not seem to be doing a lot of damage. We're maxed out on our ignore defense and skill cooldown. Okay, yeah, I mean, that didn't look very good, so I'm actually not sure if I would really recommend this uniform. Mr. Sinister, like I said, is a really cool character. I like Mr. Sinister, but from what I just saw with that uniform, he's not very impressive. He doesn't look like he's really going to do much for you, unless his awakening skill or just those extra stats you get from transcending him are like massive, you know, buffs. I don't really see him being that great. He'll just be like another average character for you to use is kind of the impression I'm getting here. So yeah, keep that in mind if you were looking at getting Mr. Sinister's uniform. I don't think it's really going to make him that much better since there wasn't a lot of skill changes. All he did was get the extra 20%. The damage just... yeah, the damage is just not there unless, like I said, his awakening proves to be something crazy where like 90% of his damage is from his awakening skill. Then maybe he'll be worth it. But as what I see right now, just level 70 with the new uniform, I don't know if I'd really recommend this. So yeah, let's move on to the next uniform. All right, next up is going to be Colossus here. So here we have Colossus again with the Hellfire Gala, because that's going to be all of the uniforms. He's actually looking pretty cool in this uniform. I kind of like this look here. He looks like Craven a bit, actually, with this outfit going on with that big pelt on his back there. So, yeah, what do we got going on here? It changes the effects of both of his passives. He's got immunity to fracture, decreased physical by 40, and basic by 35. Is that the same? What was it before? It was just basic. Okay, so the reduction of physical damage is new. All right. I don't play Colossus like at all, so I'm not very familiar with him. I never even bought this uniform. I did buy that one. All right, so I got that uniform, but that's pretty much it. I don't use him at all. I don't use him even in PvP. Honestly, I really don't think Colossus is that great of a character, but a lot of people seem to use him. A lot of people use him in PvP, so I guess I'm just missing something, but I've never seen Colossus really do anything. When I fight him in PvP, I'm like, oh, nice, free win, because they don't have another damage dealer or character in that slot that Colossus is in, so that helps me out. I don't know if this uniform is going to change any of that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but he's still got all of his reflect going on. He's got his super armor. He's got, I believe that reduction is the same, right? 50%. Is that what he had before? Oh, it doesn't list him here. I'm not super familiar. I don't think it was 50. I think it might have been 40% before, so maybe that's different. And then what do we got here? Okay, got some peers. Defense, paralysis. 100% chance to penetrate. Did he have a 100% chance to penetrate on the 4th skill before? He did, okay. Yeah, I don't see... There's not much changing here, I don't think, either. He doesn't get what he would really need to be better in PvP, which is iframe ignore, so he doesn't have that. He's still basically just a counter to physical, it looks like. He's got the damage reduction that he's always had. So I think all you're getting with this uniform is just Colossus himself as a stronger character than his previous uniform. Doesn't look like he's doing anything better in terms of support for your team. It looks like all of that is staying exactly the same as it was before. So now with this uniform, I think he's just going to be a little bit of a bigger threat in terms of, if he's the last one left standing, maybe actually doing a little bit of cleanup or actually killing somebody. That's kind of the impression I'm getting from this uniform. And then, of course, he gets his Awakening skill now, so he'll have a bit more stats to work with. So, yeah, I mean, maybe he'll be better now for PvP with this uniform here. And then he's got the Awakening skill. But I'm not sure how much better he'll be with this uniform compared to his Phoenix 5 uniform. He has a few more buffs and stats going on, but he still has the same accumulation. He's still got the same penetration on the same skill. The skill animations don't look a lot different to me. I think the 4th skill he had an iframe before, so he's losing the iframe that he had on the 4th skill. He has an iframe now on the 5th skill. Yeah, he comes out of the iframe. Does the dash here. That is delayed iframe. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know on that, because again, I'm not very familiar with Colossus. I don't play PvP much. When I do play PvP and I run into Colossus, I never have had an issue with him. He's never done anything that's really held up my team or anything like that. So I'll rely on you guys for that one. My verdict is just going to be, if you use Colossus in PvP already, the support's not going to change. If you found that you get down to Colossus as your last character and maybe they have their last character and you keep losing because of that, this uniform might help you out, because I think he might do more damage with this uniform and thus make him a little bit better at cleaning up the last character if they get through your first 2 on your team. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. Again, let me know in the comments below, but let's move on to the final uniform. All right, so the final uniform here is going to be Psylocke's uniform. So we have our Captain Britain look here for the Hellfire Gala, and this is the one I'm most excited for just because I really like Psylocke. I can't say I'm a fan of this actual uniform itself. This will probably be lowest on my list of terms of the actual aesthetic of it. Definitely like these 2 looks a lot better, so that's one thing that I'll deduct from this uniform in terms of my preferences. But hey, if you like this uniform, that's good. So now let's get into the skill changes here, because I think Psylocke might have gotten the best changes overall in terms of buffs on the skills and uniform effects. But there is going to be a big drawback that I found on those, which we'll get to in a minute. Let's check out the uniform bonus first. So enhance the effects of her tier 2 passive and her 4-star passive. Got a 30% HP right there increase. We've got ignore dodge, which is fantastic, by 40%. increased skill damage 15 and then 15 bonus. I believe all she had on this was the HP. Yeah, the HP and the mind damage, or penetrates mind damage immunity. I don't think that really matters. So yeah, pretty much all around great changes right there. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the change, now we have a passive that's going to be active all the time. Her previous passive was whenever she used her psionic butterfly, I believe was the skill, their 5th skill, was it? Yeah, I think it was when she uses her 5th, no, it was when you should have 3rd skill, right? When she uses one of her skills, it basically activated her passive. Now she has a passive all the time, and I believe it wasn't even that great before. It was just 30% mind damage and penetration, I believe was what she got. Now we get crit damage increase, we get crit rate, or guaranteed crit rate increase, and the mind damage. So we lose the penetration, but we get a lot more. That crit damage and guaranteed crit rate, I do like that. That's really nice, especially since she's losing her crit rate on one of the skills, which was 20%, I believe. So she's losing 20% crit rate on one of the skills, but she's gaining 30% guaranteed crit rate. The 4-star passive here. So this one, I believe the only change is just the addition of the guard break immunity, right? Because I believe she always had that mind resist and the immunity to mind control effects. I believe those are the same, so I think the guard break immunity is the only new thing, which is great because she definitely needed guard break immunity when I was using her, at least with her old uniform. With this new uniform, I'm not sure how much it'll come into play depending on, you know, how you cancel the skills or whatnot, but let's check out the skills. So her 3rd skill now is going to be a V-pad skill where you can kind of maneuver it around, which is pretty cool. We've got the same amount of mind resistance down. She now has a heal. She definitely needed that heal. This heal is going to be massive, 16%. So I'm very happy with that. She's got the damage immunity for 4 seconds, which is the same. And then she's got increase all attack, all defense. So we've got 30%, 25%, and then speed by 10%. This is where we used to have also a crit rate buff. So that's where we lost that and it kind of moved over to her passive there. So that's fine. The 4th skill. Again, we have the same thing there with the mind resist, and then we've got basic attack by 35%, so that is new. I don't think she had any buffs on her 4th skill before. The 5th skill here, we get the addition of charm, which is kind of weird. She always had mind control, but now she has mind control and charm. Not sure why she has both. There are some bosses immune to one, but not the other. I'm a little confused on that. Either way, we have 2 crowd control effects there, so that's kind of nice. We got the paralysis as well. She's got a lot of stuff to lock down the opponent there, which is kind of cool. And then we've got increased basic damage for 60% for 1 attack, which it used to be mind damage there. I believe you used to get like a 35% increase to mind damage, so now it's just a flat 60% damage increase for the next attack, which is better. I think that's definitely better considering we have the... Oh no, that's just regular all attack. Does she have a mind damage boost on any of her skills? Oh, she doesn't. That's interesting. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move into the skill preview here. But overall, I like the changes on the skills. Oh, I didn't show the one downside. The downside to her skills now is they have increased the skill cooldown time, which, oh my gosh, that annoys me. She used to be so good. She used to be able to chain her skill rotation together pretty much indefinitely. You'd finish your 5th skill and then you'd be ready to go back into this kind of skill rotation again. Now we have an extra, it was like 5 seconds or 4 seconds on all of her skill cooldowns. So now you're going to have to do a lot more running around and kiting with her. So that's, I mean, I guess that's okay. Now we have a heal so she can kind of top up a little bit more. But yeah, you're going to have downtime between your rotation now, which kind of sucks. All right, so first skill. That shouldn't have changed. Yeah, it didn't change. Second skill hasn't changed either. And then the 3rd skill is the one that's changed. So now we should be able to move around with this. So you can kind of just fly around while slashing our katana here, or our psionic katana. Ah. Very nice. And do we get the heal right at the start? Where's the... I think you actually have to let the skill play out a tiny bit to get the heal. That's a little annoying. Because for the skill rotation I want to use, you're going to be instant canceling that one. 4th skill. 4th skill is similar. It's just a slight change in the animation and a slight change, I think, of the kind of clones that she's got summoned there. That blast is definitely different at the end there. And then the 5th skill. So 5th skill, again, similar, but a little bit more like AoE going on, and then more to the final kind of slash at the end of the skill. So I think she's going to be using the same rotation that you've always been using, which is just the 3, 4, 5. So you instant cancel 3, and then you let 4 play out till when the first kind of bit of her blade comes out, and then you go into the 5th skill for your damage proc. So something like that. And then as you can see, or did I cancel that a little too early? Okay, I think you have to go a little bit longer now with the 4th skill. For the 4th skill, it used to be when you see the blade, so now it's... So now you have to let the blade slash a little bit? Or did I get it last time? Hold on a sec here. Okay, now I don't see the clones, so 1's going to be the best time. So we don't get that big boom at the end of the 4th skill if we cancel it, but... Yeah, so it looks like right when she starts kind of trying to dash forward with the 4th skill, you can cancel it. So yeah, like right there, and then you go into it. So I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it, because do you get... Yeah, you don't get any of the 5th skill animations if you cancel that earlier, so I'm pretty sure that's what you're going to want to do. Especially since you don't need that all defense down. Okay, you still get all defense. The clones will give you all defense down as well. Okay. Because if you're going to be using her in War Boss Legend, you don't have to worry about that. So that blast at the end, though, looks really cool. It's kind of a shame that we can't keep that. Let one of the clones do the blast instead of her. And then the awakening skills, also when you're going to be canceling when you're doing your rotation. So you can kind of see it play out here. Very cool. I like the animation, actually, of the awakening skill for both, or for all 3 of them, because they have pretty much the same awakening skill, just, you know, the main character is going to be doing something slightly different. But we're going to do, what's it called? 3, awakening, 4, and then go into 5, and I canceled 4 a little too early there. So I just need to get my timing down for the 4th skill, because it's a little bit different than what her 4th skill was before. But, yeah, we can do... Oh, the awakening skill starts to hit a little bit early there, so maybe I don't want to use the 4th skill. I don't know if I have time. If I'm going to be using a regular damage proc, that is. Interesting, but I'm thinking about upgrading Psylocke to a CTP of Judgment, actually. So yeah, let's go ahead and back out here. I'm definitely going to be buying this uniform because, like I said, I really do like Psylocke, so I definitely want to be able to use her. And then if we go ahead and check her out here, I actually already have her transcended because this was a nice, easy one for me. I already had all of her gears at 25, so I didn't have to do anything. It was just a free transcendent for me, just because I've invested in Psylocke earlier when she got her first uniform. Actually, when she first came out, I just really like Psylocke, so I've been using her quite a bit. I haven't really kind of re-updated her build, though, so she definitely could use a bit of an upgrade there. So we've got our mind damage, ignore, dodge, and a 180 proc, which is a fantastic, you know, obelisk for a regular mind damage character, because that ignore dodge is good. She gets extra 40% ignore dodge now, so I would have a 70% ignore dodge, which is kind of crazy. All of her skills are mind damage. I believe all of them were before, right? For some reason, I was thinking the 4th skill wasn't mind damage before, but yeah, they should have all been mind damage. So that shouldn't have changed at all. I'm going to have to see if I have any bios for her, because I've been using those to level up other characters to 70. Yeah, so anyway, let's see. Are we maxed out? Okay, so I need to do something for skill cooldown, and then let's go ahead and try her out, though, and see what kind of damage she can do. I haven't tested her at all since transcending her, so I don't know how well she'll do in War Boss Legends, so this is actually going to be the first time for both of us to see what kind of damage she can do with this uniform, so let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, so here we are over at Null. We have stage 2 loaded up, and we're going to be using this team here with Cyclops as lead, because then we get his leadership and passive. And then we have Wave there for her tier 2 support and uniform support. And Cyclops, actually, do both of them? I think both of them have CTPs of Insight. Either way, we're getting a CTP of Insight also in this. So let's go ahead and hop in here. She doesn't need healing, and she doesn't need the ignore dodge, because I want to see if she gets the healing right away from that 3rd skill, or if you have to let it play out a little bit. So it's going to be going standard strikers here, because we have 70% ignore dodge, because I haven't changed our obelisk around. I still have the same one that I just showed you. But again, I am contemplating putting a CTP of Judgment on her, so let me know in the comments below if that's something you want to see, or if I should try a CTP of Rage. But I think she should be better with Judgment because she's mind damage, because most of the mind damage characters are better with Judgment than Rage. I guess Luna is like the only exception. And I do have very low Pierce, so I've only got like 2% Pierce, so I don't have high Pierce to take advantage of any of that. So anyway, let's just do a normal rotation here. I mean, that actually looked pretty nice to me. Alright, come on, Psylocke. I think Psylocke always had great damage, though, so I'm not sure how much more damage she's actually doing with this uniform. Opposed to, say... Oh my gosh. Opposed to, say, her previous uniform. Jeez, she just obliterated him. Holy cow. That was pretty nice. I didn't even get the damage from the 4th skill in that one, because I figured I'd just get the buff from the 4th skill and just cancel it out since the Awakening skill started hitting a little bit earlier. So he moved a little bit away from the clones there, so you can see that drop in damage. So if he moves away from them and you don't actually get the hits from the clones, that does change things around. Can we... Oh, we need to switch because we're going to get snared here. Almost was able to get there. And the change in her skills, again, is pretty substantial. She went from having a 13 and 12 second cooldown to having a 18 and 17 second cooldown. So... it's just not nice. That is way too long of a skill cooldown. Because again, normally she can just do that 3, 4, 5, like back to back to back to back with not much downtime. I think there was like a 1.5 seconds or maybe 2 seconds of downtime. That's pretty much it. So yeah, let's see this damage. Oh, we almost pushed him. I need to use a skill. There we go. She is running through this. Holy cow. Go Psylocke. And it doesn't look like we were getting that healing right away, were we? Hold on, let's do... Yeah, so we didn't get a heal there because I kind of just ran in and he guard broke me and we got no healing. So you do have to actually let the skill play out to get some healing. So what, that's very similar to Gwenum's healing on her 3rd skill, because you kind of have to actually do damage to the boss to get the healing from it. Alright, let's just do that. There we go. So yeah, that was really nice. Oh, I shouldn't actually have cleared that, because then I should go in with her their other uniform to see if the damage is similar or not. I mean, this uniform is definitely should be doing more damage. We have extra ignore dodge, which when I change my obelisk will pretty much just be what I had before, because we're getting 30% from the obelisk right now, and she gets 40% from the uniform, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm really happy with how Psylocke is performing here, and I'm just pretty happy that she got a Awakening, because I've been wanting to use her in Warboss Legend for a while now. So this right here is going to be my top pick for the 3 uniforms. But again, I'm a Psylocke fan, but I also think she did get the best upgrade here, because Mr. Sinister just did not look very impressive. Colossus, I don't really play much at all, so again, I don't have much perspective on how good he is with the Phoenix 5 uniform, if he actually is okay in PvE content or not. But he does get an Awakening now, so he will have that. And again, the uniform looks like it should be hitting harder, so this should be a kind of more buffed up version of Colossus with that new uniform. He doesn't really get much in terms of support changes, so he's going to be pretty much doing exactly what he was before. So yeah, if you like the old Colossus, I'm pretty sure you're going to like the new Colossus, because it'll just be him with a little bit more damage. But again, my top pick is going to be Psylocke. If you have Psylocke, if you liked playing Psylocke before, then I think you're going to be pretty happy with this uniform. Just that one initial play that I did right there against Null, I was very impressed with her damage, so I'm definitely going to be playing around with her a little bit more. I am probably, like I said, going to be swapping her out for a CTP of Judgment. I have 1 CTP of Judgment left. I don't have any CTPs of Energy, so I can't even try her out on a CTP of Energy, because she could be really good with that chain hit damage. Some characters, again, are better with Energy just because of that chain hit damage, so they'll do more damage with the Energy than, say, with a Rage. I don't know if that'll be the case for Psylocke here, but I'm pretty sure I'll be putting a Judgment on her, unless, like I said, someone maybe in the comments below says that, oh, she's not great with a Judgment, or her damage doesn't really go up much with a Judgment, might as well just keep a regular damage proc on her. or say she's just a lot better with a CTP of energy, then maybe I'll wait till I get my next CTP of energy, or I'll pull a CTP of energy off one of my existing characters or something like that to give to her. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video here. A little bit of a long one because two of the characters I kind of tested a little bit more opposed to just going straight over the uniforms. Again, I am still sticking with this format for now unless I get more people telling me that they liked the individual videos where I just did a video for each uniform on its own, because right now I'm still seeing more people liking this style opposed to the other one, or the people that are not liking this style are just not commenting or something like that. So yeah, put in the comments below if you prefer these longer videos like this where I just go over all the uniforms, and I'll have timestamps in the description for you to check out, you know, whichever uniform you want, or if you prefer the dedicated video for each uniform. Either way, they're pretty much the same process for me to make each video. So it's not like one video is harder for me to make opposed to like the 3 videos or something like that. They take me pretty much the same amount of time. So it's basically off of your guys' preferences. So let me know which style of video you prefer. And again, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. And of course I will catch you in the next one.